Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome to a video that I don't think anybody expected. We're talking about Heroines Run the Show, episode 4, because that's right, we've been watching this, and by we, of course, I mean the wonderful, startacular Stella Luna.
Yay! And you.
And me. I was also there. I also watched it. I was gonna say, and like the less startacular, more sort of puppet-like boy of me. It me.
It you. Yay!
It me. Yay. We've been watching this. It's been good. So we've been watching it sort of solo, but I feel like I could say this because, you know, like I don't think other people are going to be like I don't think like the typical demographic of the channels is necessarily going to watch this. Mm-hmm. So we've like been talking, and I've wanted to lean more into Fujoshi/Fudanshi and shoujo content more, because that's kind of more of the content that I've been consuming as of late, and it's the shows that I enjoy like talking about the most with Stella, like off screen. So we figured, why not actually sit and, you know, talk about some shoujo. It might not get the same views right away, but it'd be nice to kind of shift the channel in a direction that is more fun for me to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so because of that, why not talk about the shoujo series that I've been probably loving the most of like the shows that we've watched, and that is Heroines Run the Show, which is not only a shoujo but also an idol anime. It's an idol boy anime, which I feel like I watch more idol boy anime than I've seen more idol boy anime than regular idol anime, which is I don't know if that's odd or not.
I also am more of a fan of idol boy anime. I don't really watch a lot of like just normal idol anime. The only like idol anime that I've watched that I really enjoyed was Heroine Revolution, which was like from forever ago, and that's a really old series. And it's not even like an idol group. It's like a girl who is an idol, and then she has romantic ties with another idol group, you know, who are a two-part male group. And then
like Lip Lip?
Zombieland, huh?
Just like Lip Lip.
Yeah, just like Lip Lip.
Let's go.
And Zombieland Saga was the other one, but Zombieland Saga, even though technically it is an idol anime, it's very much more of like a spoof and supposed to be funny and not quite super idol-y.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more to it than just idol.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to watch a lot of idol boy anime. Like I like seen B Project, I've seen Tsukiyuta, I've seen Uta no Prince Sama, like Idolish 7. I enjoy songs from like Aichu. I'm just now naming things that JoJo here is sitting here going,
I'm like,
I don't know what that is.
I mean, so friends of the channel know and adore Idolish 7, and they've told me about it, and I have seen a good chunk of Idolish 7.
I do like Idolish 7.
Funny enough, I think I've actually seen up to like, I think episode 7 of Idolish 7, like around there. Somewhere at like around the midpoint, because I think there's 17 episodes of Idolish 7 for the meme of the fact that it's one set, like 1 and a 7, like Idolish 7.
I7.
Yeah. Very funny.
It's very funny, very funny.
But yeah, to talk about our relationship with idol anime.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been watching this anime off of like the channel, like outside of just like the channel stuff that we have been talking about. And when we got into this show, I was excited because I like Honeyworks. I had seen the movie that they had, what was it, like, I can't remember the movie name at the top of my head. And like I really like, because I'm a huge Vocaloid fan, right? And Honeyworks does a lot of Vocaloid stuff. So I was super excited about when I heard about this show coming out. It's called Confession Executive Committee. Committee is the name of the movie. And so I'd seen that movie. I liked that movie. I like Vocaloid, which, you know, Honeyworks has done a couple of songs, most notably like Suki Kirai, which is a fantastic Finland song, which is actually like one of my like I really just love that song a lot. So I was super excited for the show to come out, and I was like, "Hey Jojo, we should watch the show. We don't have to cover it on the channel." You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, like both of us didn't really have high expectations for this show. I just thought it was gonna be like a cute show like
Mhm.
Honeyworks that Honeyworks had done.
Something for
And
us to just watch on the side.
yeah, and to our surprise, it was actually very good.
It's one of my favorite shows this season. In fact, Hiyori, the MC, is my best girl of the season, which
Yeah.
I did not expect, and neither did Stella, apparently.
No, no, I did not expect that. I love Hiyori, by the
Yeah.
way. I just love this show a lot. Like it's the more episodes that go on, the more I'm like, man, I really like this show because it's more than just kind of like a hollow like idol anime,
Yes.
right? Like there's so much more going on besides like the idol part of it.
I think an issue that I've seen with idol anime, and it's part of the reason why I always had a hard time getting into idol anime, and I can't, again, I don't know a lot about idol anime, so I can't speak for idol anime as a whole, but I feel like a lot of it is kind of sterile, like it's kind of like the same. Like every time I've tried to get
Yeah.
into stuff like Love Live or like Idolmaster or stuff like that, and I'm also talking about like Side M included and stuff like that. Even though I do like Side M, I do think that the issues with those shows is that it's sort of like cookie cutter, right? Like a lot of it is very
Yeah.
samey, like, and it's very safe, right? It's always like these are good sweet boys or these are good sweet girls and they're gonna go and sing their hearts out, and occasionally you get some like character background on why they want to do the thing, but it's never like
Yeah.
that dark and never goes to places that spooky, or not spooky,
Yeah.
but serious. And so usually like with idol anime, it's usually just kind of like nice light popcorn type shows to sort of just like I don't want to say like Iyashi K type shows, but shows that you can just kind of unwind to. Like they just kind of put you in
Yeah.
a good mood. Not to say that Heroines Run the Show does not do that, because that is also what it's trying to do,
As-
but it's also doing things that I think are different.
Yes. And I definitely agree with that. Cuz like I like going into the show, I was surprised to see that our boys from Lip Lip
Yeah.
were assholes.
They
I was
were
like,
real
"Whoa, they're real
assholes.
assholes."
Yeah, I really didn't like them, like for the first, I think two episodes. It was at the tail end of last week, so tail end of episode 3, that I was like, okay, like they're actually not bad, like
No.
because I was like, man, these guys really suck. But at the tail end of episode 3, where they're like, hey, you're a jerk, like to the other girl, like don't
Yeah,
don't insult
just
our
called her
staff.
out for being a bitch. I
Yeah.
was so happy.
Oh, I was so yeah, because that girl sucked. But when they're like, "Hey, don't insult our manager, right? Like, our manager in training." Although they don't say manager in training, just don't insult
said
our
staff.
staff. Yeah, don't insult
Yeah.
our staff. Which I was like, that I really liked that. I will say, again, because I did say that there's 2 specific genres I'm gonna lean the channel into, right? It's shoujo, right? But also fujoshi and fudanshi. So if you like me talking about shonen stories and sports anime, don't you worry, because they accidentally serve some pretty top tier fujo and fujoshi content accidentally. Looking at you, my hero in Jujutsu Kaisen. but so with that said, obviously I'd be shipping Lip Lip together. Obviously it'd be about Aizo and Yujiro for me.
Mhm.
But because I need that clear, is that I don't really ship Hiyori with anybody. I assume that's probably going to be a thing that the show like wants, is like people to ship Hiyori either with, I believe his name is Yujiro. Yujiro and Aizo.
I think it is Yujiro.
Yeah, Yujiro or Aizo. And if I had to pick her to be with one of them, I couldn't, and it would have to be both. It would have to be like a trio. They'd have to be polyamorous. There'd be no way around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so funny because we were literally sitting there during the episode, at like the beginning of the episode, and she's like going to like get like married,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
and there's both of them, and I was like, wow, this ending feels familiar. This is just like Gentleman's Alliance, except she marries 2 twins instead of 2 idols, right? And
Is
like,
that a real? You made that joke, and I was like, "Are you being serious?"
No, I was 100% being serious.
What is this show?
It's not a show; it's a manga.
Oh, okay.
It's an old shoujo manga from like forever ago.
I'm gonna have to pick this up.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like you definitely know. And
That's
or like it also kind of reminds me of the part in Sugar Rune, where like the two, I don't remember, Soul and I don't remember the other guy's name. They're twins as well, and they both like Chocolate, who is like the main girl, and they eat like or drink something that like basically like she can go into their dreams, and they both have the same fucking dream about marrying her, but then they end up fighting over it, and it's so funny. Like I feel like that's a very common, it's like not common, but it's a very like it's a trope I see a lot in anime that happens.
Where like two people like the same person, so they're like, let's just both do that. Or
they
like
both
twins.
get married or they,
because Oron has twins as well, doesn't? But do both of the twins in Oron like what's her name?
Yeah. I mean, yes, but
I haven't seen Oron for the.
Yeah, so Kaoru and Hikaru both like Haruhi, but Kaoru takes the back seat and pushes Hikaru towards Haruhi.
Aw, that's sweet.
Because he wants his brother to be happy, and he knew like the day would come like that they would have to separate.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Like
no,
that.
It is really
should...
no. In that scene when that happens, and it's all silent. Like there's just music that plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's
so
part
what
of
you're
the
saying
reason why
we should probably watch Oron at some point.
We should probably watch Oron, because it's you'll understand why the ending of Oron, like the ending song, like makes me emotional every time.
That's fine.
Every time I hear it, I get emotional. Anyways, we're getting off track.
Yeah, heroines run the show.
Yeah, heroines run the show. But yeah, no, I've like this show has been much more like it's been really wholesome. It's been really fun. Our main character, she's really cute. I did see some people say her voice is like annoying, but I don't. I just think she has like a really like. She has like a cute high-pitched voice, but not in this like she has it in like the country bumpkin way. Yeah. And I find her so adorable.
I do remember you saying that was a thing, right? That people had found her voice annoying, and I was like, what? Like that I just didn't I was like, really? I mean, like I could think of like 1,000 characters who have a more annoying voice, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was like, what, really? And I also like the way she talks, because like again, like she has more of a sort of like country accent, so like everything she says is sort of like, especially if you know, like I don't speak Japanese, but I watch a shit ton of anime, so I could like pinpoint when somebody has an accent. All right, so like the way she talks, I don't know, I think it adds to her charm. I think she's cute. Right?
I do. I think she's adorable.
Yeah, she is, like I said, my favorite girl of this anime season, like of the spring season. I might have to sit down and like really hash it out, right? Because obviously, like Stella had said when we were watching it, and I had said like I think she's my favorite girl of the season. Not waifu, by the way. That's weird. Waifu is a different subject. Waifu is clearly Yor from Spy X Family or Spy Family, but best girl is different. Best girl is just like the one I want to succeed, you know. And with her, it's like I think with Hiyori, she's my favorite. More than say like Anya, which I knew was the one that surprised you because you thought it was gonna be Anya.
Yes. Yep.
But as much as I like Anya, I still don't like kid characters that much. Kid characters have a very difficult uphill climb with me. Because I just find most kids annoying in most things, you know.
Yeah.
Not just anime, just things in general. But Anya's obviously great, but with Hiyori, like when I see her on screen, like I want the best for her because I know her struggle. You know, like I know what she's going through, I know what she's dealing with, and especially in the beginning, they do such a good job in the first 2 episodes of making you be like, she's great because she has to put up with these 2 assholes, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they're the worst in the first 2 episodes. They're the worst. I remember sitting there going like, I don't think I'm ever gonna like these 2. And now we're on episode 4, and I'm like, you 3. make me so happy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you three make me so happy. I want all great things for all three of you, except if Hiyori's leg is actually busted because of you two idiots forgetting the friggin' medals. Like, I'm gonna lose my shit. Not that they forgot it was there. I think their staff forgot. Yeah. So, you know.
Well, the one thing I will say about like Hiyori and why I think I really like her is that she's more than just like the Genki, like happy, like oh, like hard work. Any hard work can do it. Like she's still like last episode we had like the whole fucking bitch model girl, right? Who like, you know, purposely like tripped her to get coffee on her dress.
And it was awkward.
And Hiyori felt extremely bad about it. And she like actually felt like like she showed more than just like her happy emotion, right? Like she showed like you know, like I like the way they portrayed her emotion in that scene was just like
it hurt.
Yeah, that's pretty real right there. That's pretty real, right?
It's funny because I think that's the thing about the show that I love is usually this would be like the things you see on the surface, like the things we've gotten so far, would be their characters throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
Right? Whereas we've clearly gotten hints that there's a lot more going on. With like to each character, but Hiyori in particular as well.
Well, like now we're in episode 4, and let me tell you, now we haven't even really talked about episode 4 yet.
No.
But like episode 4 had so much happening.
Yes.
Oh my god. I was like, what? I'm like, there was so much that happened in this episode 4. And I'm like, this video is going to be a long video apparently because there's just so much, and we hadn't even talked about it beforehand, you know, like the fact that so we kind of start out this episode with like, you know, the marriage dream, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Hiyori is like, what the fuck is
what was that?
What was that, right? And then, you know, we end up them, you know, being at school and stuff, and things are going really good because of the non-fantasy music video that dropped. You know, now the boys are more popular than ever, and Aizo is getting really, really like panicked, right? And he so panicked that he passes out because of all these girls around him, right?
They do play it off as a joke, but it was kind of scary. Like when they were like, that freaked us out. I'm like, yeah, it probably would have. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And then, you know, Yujiro is like, I'll take him to the nurse's office, and Hiyori's like, I'll go tell the teacher and stuff like that. And then we kind of learn a little bit that like that Aizo might have some trauma with some girls. You know,
something might have happened.
Something might have happened. And the way, like after we kind of figured out there might be some trauma there. There is some trauma there, right? Because they specifically used the word trauma, right?
Which
like,
was interesting.
Which is interesting, right? And Hiyori, you know, runs off and to go grab food, and she runs into Aizo's brother,
which was a shock,
older brother, right? Which is a really big shock, but you know what, they do look alike. Like their faces are like the same, except he just has pink hair.
Pink hair, and it's about the same length too. Like he just has pink hair. That's the difference.
And in his
pink
down,
hair, it's not,
his bangs are back.
He doesn't have he doesn't have his hair tied back or anything.
She asks like, is there something that happened with Aizo and girls, right? I was like, well, our mom, you know, was like jumped around from relationship to relationship all the time, and I went through a playboy phase and stuff like that.
He's
and
straight-laced. He doesn't really like that kind of thing.
But like the way they like she goes, oh, good. I thought it was like some really bad, like I thought it was like trauma. Like the way they emphasized on trauma, I'm like, this character, this brother is a fucker. Like that's
I don't think he's a bad dude. I think he was like, I can't tell you because it's not his. I think it's one of those like it's not his story. So he's like, I can't tell you. I do think he is like Shigure-esque, where he's like, oh, this person might.
ooh, I got those feelings from him. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, there was a Sugar Ray type essence to him.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that's part of the reason why I like the show. And I know people would be like, there is not, but to me, I'm like, there is Fruits Basket energy in this show. There is a lot of Fruits Basket energy in this show.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
Girl is by herself. She comes into some kind of trouble ship. She ends up meeting two boys who don't like each other.
Who don't like each other and are initially kind of wary of her, right? Yep. And then she gets drawn into their extraordinary circumstances. You know? And one of them is the more fiery, quick to anger type. The other one has sort of like more delicate nature. He's a bit more cold and calm and quiet. Right? And now we have another character who seems like a bit of like a layabout, seems a bit of a playboy, but in actuality he might have some plans, and he might be hoping that this girl might be able to help him achieve his goal for somebody he cares about. Right? I'm like, right? Just
when you put it like that, this is a very Fruits Basket-esque show.
I think we just found the reason why I like this show so much and why I like Hiyori so much, because I'm like, she really do kind of just be like, she do kind of remind me of like, she's Toru if she was into track, you know? And she has two best friends. What is
the dark-haired, like, kind of like more quiet one, and the other one is the more loud?
Just instead of being a Yankee, she's a Gyaru.
Yeah, instead of a Yankee, she's a Gyaru.
I love it. This is it has that energy, you know. This is Idol Basket. Idol Basket. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Fruits Idol. Yeah, Fruits Idol.
Fruits Idol.
That's awesome. And if anyone's thinking that's a knock, it absolutely is not. Fruits Basket's like my third or fourth favorite show of all time. Like even going beyond anime, like I love Fruits Basket. That's high praise.
It is really high praise.
Yeah.
But yeah, like kind of going back, like it seems like Aizo has some actual trauma, because the way they played that off of like, oh, it's just like this, and like, oh, good, it's not anything super serious, right? Because I'm like, it's weird to be like, he has trauma, and then for it to be like that kind of dumb reasoning, which I have seen in anime. I'm looking at you, Wolf Girl and Black Prince. I'm looking right at you.
You showed me a handful of episodes, and we noped the hell out.
I'm looking right at you. But like, I do not think it's that, like, that kind of show.
No.
Right? Like, I really don't.
I am curious if, like, the trauma is going to be that, like, he met a girl who was, like, awful to him, like, treated him like dirt, right?
Yeah.
Because that can give somebody trauma. Like, that can't, like, because that is, like, what I'm worried is that he might have gotten, like, emotionally manipulated or gaslit, and it, like, heavily affected him. You know? Because that can give you trauma, you know? So that's the interesting thing with Aizo is, like, you know, he's got trauma, Yujiro's got trauma, there's this girl who's there, she also has her own baggage, and, like, she's gonna have to help them through the trauma. Fruits Basket.
Well, and then now, and then as the, you know, it goes on later, we find out about Yujiro's family.
Yes, I was shocked. It makes sense, though.
Yes, it does make sense, but he's the eldest of a kabuki family, of a famous kabuki family, right? And the media was like, like dishonor on you, like embarrassment.
How could you?
Idol.
Yeah,
like,
how could you do this idol thing instead of going into this noble sort of lineage of kabuki theater? First of all, by the way, kabuki theater is super interesting, right? Like, it's a very interesting art medium. Not remotely similar to idol culture at all, right? Like, not even remotely the same thing. So I was like, that is an interesting turn of events. But when you look at how he's behaved throughout the previous 3 episodes, like, it's like, oh, you would come from, like, a big family, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing that really surprises me too is that like, well, not surprises me, but like has me curious, is back in that first episode where Hiyori came across Yujiro outside of like what was it, the police station or was it the hospital? I can't remember.
I think it was the station. I remember that there was police near him.
I
And
think
he
yeah,
and
I
he
remember
was in
police
trouble
were
with
near
the
him.
cops because Aizo literally says like, "What? You're gonna get in trouble with the cops again?" Right? Like,
Yeah,
remember
so
he
like,
like
what's
Aizo
that
lets him have
about?
it. Yeah, like so.
Right?
What happened there? Is there trouble at home? Right?
Yeah,
Because we know that like when Hiyori sees that his mom made that bento,
mhm,
right? Like he says like, "I'm just an afterthought." Right? So
yeah,
my theory is like, I'm just an afterthought. My guess is that they put so much attention on the younger brother
yep,
that it made him like pretty much feel abandoned, so he felt like he had to strike off on his own and go into idol culture, so that, or like go into like an idol group, and that might be why he feels separate from his family. Like he feels like maybe his family pushed him into being an idol,
yep,
and that's where the resentment comes from, and maybe there was a fight and that's why the cops showed up. Like who
yeah.
knows, you know?
Yeah, but the more that we get into the show, the more we're starting to see like little bits of things that are appearing and like more like kind of like drama-esque,
Yes.
like drama stuff, right? And I'm really enjoying that because like we keep getting these little hints and drops of things. And it's becoming the show of like more than just bubblegum popcorn idols, right? Like this is becoming like there's some it's very similar to Fruits Basket in that
Yes,
sense, right? Like I don't think it's going to get as dark as Fruits Basket
that would be
does.
very difficult.
That would be very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, Fruits Basket had like 3 seasons to also get like super dark,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Whereas like this is probably going to be a 1 season kind of show,
I'd assume.
like 12 episodes, but like you could still get like pretty jam packed into it with like 12 episodes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I've been really like I really enjoy that about like shoujo when they start to get into like more drama and darker topics, because like, it's like, yes, enjoy the cute boys and the fun girl and like the all the cute friends and stuff, but then also here's a little bit of spice. A little bit
He's a little spice.
a little bit of spice.
A little
Yeah.
spicy. Yeah, well, even like the end of the episode, right? We get the big, like, we're cheering her on. We're like, yeah, Hiyori, you got this. And she trips and lands hard on her knee,
Yep.
right? And then when she tries to get up, you see her flinch. And I was like, did she hurt her knee or her leg? Like,
Yeah.
what happened? And then at the very tail end, we see it wasn't her knee, it wasn't her leg, it was her ankle.
Her ankle.
Yeah, it's like, oh no. Like, because she's a track star, right?
Yeah.
Well, not a track star, but she wants to run track. Like, she wants to compete at nationals.
Yep.
Which I love that she has her own goal outside of the idol stuff.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's going to happen. And if she can't do that, like, that's her whole reason for being in the city, right?
Mhm.
Because she's not from the city. She's a country girl.
Yep.
Right? She's like a fisherman's daughter, right? So that's why
Yep.
she's in the city, is to go to school for track. So if she can't go, then her whole reason for being there is completely shifted. It might be interesting if that's what happens, is that her reason for being in that city is gone, so she's kind of questioning whether she should even still be there. Maybe that's why the boys point at her in like the preview, right?
Yeah,
To be like,
maybe
you are the reason why we can keep going, right?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, but let's talk a little bit about the boys and how cute they are here for a second.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So it's really funny because like after they had been done, like doing their workout or their routine or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they come in and they go up to Hiyori and they're like, "Get us food. I want a pork cutlet sandwich. I want a tuna onigiri," right?
Yeah.
Now, not at the convenience store. Go to the bakery. Pronto,
Now,
right?
yeah.
Now.
No,
Right,
what do
we're
they say? Dash.
dash, right? And
Yeah.
we're like, wow, a fucking asshole. She goes to get it, right? And then she comes back, and like the look on their face was like,
Yeah, and I was
Like-
like, wait, what's
I was
with
like,
the
why
face?
did you make that? I was like, what was that reaction about?
Yeah.
And then you see what they have in their hands is like a medal.
Yeah. As in, like,
And-
you're our number one fans, right?
You're our
Like,
number one fan.
which they got from talking to Hiyori.
Yep.
When she even
Because
says like, "Wait a minute," right?
wait a
They're like, "It's nothing like that," right?
And,
She's
and
like,
yeah.
"Uh-huh."
Oh,
Right?
that was so cute. So
I like that she
cute.
wasn't oblivious too, because I feel like
No.
so many main characters would have been like, "What does this mean?" Right? Like she's
Yeah.
like, "Right," right? Like
Yeah,
she's like,
like,
"Sure, yeah, you
right.
just came up with that yourselves." Yeah, like I really like that. I like, again, like I've said it before, like there's a scene where when Yujiro gets confronted by the paparazzos, which screw the paparazzi, but when he
Mhm.
gets surrounded by the media, right?
Yeah.
Aizo shows up, and we were both like, Aizo! Right? Like, because when he shows up, he really shows up to the rescue, which is going to show, I think, Hiyori's good influence on the two of them. Like, it's making them
Yes.
become closer.
Yes.
Like, would they have still become close without Hiyori? Maybe. But I think
Maybe.
her being there is very important, right? And I'm sure
Like,
that that's kind of what the managers wanted, is another friend around to get them to be closer.
Yes.
But when he shows up and he's just like, I'm glad that you didn't go into, he's like, the kabuki thing. What I love too is that he says like, oh yeah, I've been to the house. I thought the gate was crazy big. And like the first time I saw you in the kabuki makeup, I was like, dude, what are you doing? Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Aizo's never been to his house.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, so
absolutely
it's like Aizo's never been to his house. So like you could tell it was a, like, I'm pretending like I knew about this to ease tension so that I can then say, I'm glad that you didn't go down that road. Right?
Yeah.
When he says like, we'd be lonely without each other, right? And I'm like, well, yes, as boyfriends, it would be very difficult if you guys weren't together. That is correct.
Yes.
Because you are boyfriends. Because they are boyfriends.
Yes.
And they were
Because
roommates.
boyfriends.
But they
And
were boyfriends.
They were roommates.
And oh
Yeah.
my god, they were roommates.
But
Like, yes, they are boyfriends. And to me, I love them. I love them. They're great. Their designs are great. The designs in general are pretty solid. Like, I can't remember the friend's name. I almost
Judy?
said Junko. Judy, yeah. Junko Enoshima. No,
Junko Enoshima.
Junko Enoshima. No, Judy. Judy's design is probably my favorite, obviously, because now I have a thing for Gyaru. Thank you, Stella.
I mean, she even has the same little hair thing as me. Yeah. Like we
Yeah.
have the same hairstyle.
You have the same. Yeah, what do you call that? Like with the little side ponytail thing.
Just a side ponytail.
Side ponytail. Yeah, it's like the same look.
Like the half up side ponytail.
Yeah. It's very, I was like, it's very cool. Like her design's very cool. But the boys' designs, especially when they're in like their idol outfits,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you look great. Like I believe that all these girls would fawn over those guys.
Yes, they're very distinct, like very like distinctive, yeah, and how they look, and that's really hard to do when you have characters that are very I don't want to say plain looking, but there's not like a fantasy or any kind of like that kind of element to it. It's just they're just people who go to school,
which
right?
is funny because other characters other characters have hair that is more sort of, I almost want to say like Idol 7 type hair, right?
Yeah.
Like his brother, Yujiro's brother, has like green hair and green eyes.
Yes.
Right? And I'm like, wait a minute. What why did the side characters have cooler hair than the main characters? Right?
It's
like but yeah, the only character I could think of who has a design that I was going to say that I don't like, but that throws me, is the teacher. And that's just because he looks like Mighty. Like
Mighty from Lovely Complex.
He straight up just looks like Mighty from Lovely Complex, which is funny because Mighty is also the teacher in Lovely Complex.
I know, and he's also the teacher that helps the students.
Exactly. So I'm like, my headcanon is that it is Mighty, right? Like that is Mighty. It's Mighty, but years later. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's helping like a new group of students. That's my headcanon. But yeah, shout out Lovely Complex, I guess.
Absolutely. We stand Lovely Complex in this house.
We do. So, I think we hit pretty much everything.
Yep.
We had a lot to talk about because it wasn't just like episode 4. It was technically like everything about the show and why we like it. Also, the music's very good. It's funny that we didn't talk about the music in an idol anime.
Yeah, the music is very good. I mean,
it's
that's
good. It's not like
because it's anywhere.
Exactly. And like nothing has blown me away, right? But it's just very good music. Right, I'm just like, this is good music. I enjoy this music. It's not like I would say like there's tracks in other shows that have really like made me go like, wow, that was amazing. Whereas like everything, like I'm thinking of Given in particular, like where the music in Given, I was like, wow, but that's a totally different genre, right? That's like a rock group versus a pop group, right? So like I'm more inclined to like that kind of music than pop.
That's
but
true.
not that there's anything wrong with pop. I like most pop music. Yeah, I'd say the music is just very like it obviously fits the show, but it also just kind of does a good job of sort of bringing you into the mood of the show as well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's everything, though.
I do think that's everything. We had a lot to talk about. Not really a lot of complaints about this show either.
No, I'd say like occasionally some of the art is a bit wonky, but it's rare, right?
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes I've noticed like their side profiles aren't great, right? Like whoever does the art for the show, like it's one fucking person. Like some of the animators when they're drawing side profiles, it looks a little flat. Like the characters kind of look like, I don't know. Like it's hard to explain. Like they look flat, right?
Yeah.
But it's rare, so it tells me that there might just be one animator who might be either newer or more stressed and isn't always hitting their mark. But it's rare. I'd maybe say I see it like once an episode for like a shot. Right,
Yeah.
like it's very rare. I think the art is stupendous. I think the colors are crazy. Like I'm a big fan of like shows that pop with color, right? And the show really pops with a lot of color.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And apparently is part of an extended universe of other things. Because again, I'm not super familiar with Honeyworks.
Well, yeah, we should definitely watch the movie.
Yeah, because there is a movie, I guess that's not a prequel movie, but it is a movie that takes place before the show.
Yeah. It like I wouldn't say like it's a prequel or this is a sequel or it's really like
shows
it's
set in the same universe.
They're just set in the same universe with similar characters.
Yeah,
I
think it's
with same characters actually. They're not even similar. Same characters.
Yeah, and it's her Hiyori's like senpai on the track team.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's
it's one of the side characters in this other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it though. We're gonna leave. Okay, bye-bye, outro. And that's going to do it for today's discussion, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I want to give a big thank you to the lovely people who help support us over on Patreon. And if you too would like to have your name scrolling past the screen, then be sure to check out that Patreon link in the description. And of course, a big thank you has to go to Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorins, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trap Master, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Check me out over on Twitch, on Twitter, all the fun stuff. Links to everything are in the first link in the description. Thank you so much for watching / listening, and I will see you in the next one.